Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's account is from around 6 miles away from me. Actually, it's quite close to my hometown, and it's Figures in the Woods, Pendleton, and it actually happened today. So this morning, very early on, I was discussing areas and research tips with a fellow wildman researcher, and we've been chatting on and off for a while now and looking at suitable places to visit. Ones that I have an interest in but physically cannot get to, and he volunteered to do it, which was wonderful. And he kind of stumbled upon his own experience while he was there. So this area is quite close to me, and I feel it's important to the forest folk, and it's a hidden gem in the urban jungle of the northwest of Britain. Tucked away are many little pockets of unused land, thick with shrubs and trees, left to nature and seldom visited by man, except for the odd dog worker in the day. And we call these the green corridors. And it was whilst chatting between ourselves we decided on this exact spot, as it felt it had the correct feel to it, and all the things we looked for went out. It's also in the Irvine Valley Country Park, and has country parks on either side of it, so it's quite a nice place to be. There's good food sources, there's water, lots of cover, and like I say, ideal. And this is what he had to say. He phoned me up this afternoon, quite panicked, not scared, just a little worked up, and you could tell his adrenaline was pumping, but he was, I don't think he'll forget today. I went to Area A today, and it was very wet, and it had been raining for the past 48 hours. But I'd had a really busy day in town, and I had to drive through central Manchester, and I just needed to clear my head. So I set off with my young son for an hour's peace and quiet. And we were out for a while in the rain. We were just enjoying the day, walking around, looking for sign, when I noticed out the corner of my eye a grey figure. Only for a split second, and then it was gone. I only saw it in my peripheral vision, peripheral vision, and it was gone. So I made my way over to where it had been, and I couldn't see it. It wasn't standing there or anything like that. It had gone. But to my shock, there was a ditch, and the figure must have been at least 8 foot tall for me to have seen him. And as I went to point this out to my son, there was a high wail, really loud, and all the crows set off in unison. My son said he had also seen a figure too. So I presumed he'd seen the one that I'd seen. But on comparing notes and asking him, I realised the figure he had seen was dark and smaller and in a different place. The crows made a ruckus, and we set off back to the car. Not scared, but a little confused, and the adrenaline was rushing. I can't give any details. It was just a dark figure that my son saw and a grey figure that I saw. The area itself was off the canal, and it's wooded. It's not quite dusk, and although it's wet and misty, I had really good light, and it was only about 5 p.m. I found a spot within the small wood where a circle of pine trees grew, and in the middle of a circle was this tree, and it was just there by itself. This little spot felt magical in a way, and the tree seemed significant or important to me somehow. And I did feel watched, like lots of unseen figures were around me, and it felt like they were just moving silently all around us. I didn't feel scared or worried or anything like that. It was just a very strange experience. Although I couldn't see them, it was something I felt strongly about. Neither myself or my son felt in any danger, and to be honest, it was quite an uplifting experience. And I will be returning to the area again, and hope for many more interactions. So maybe you could have your own experience this weekend if you decide to go out. And I know lots of people wait for good weather, but that's when lots of humans are about. So if you're able, if you're physically able to get out there when it's wet and you're okay, that's the time that you should be going, really, because not many people are out. They probably feel much safer to, be on the move. This gentleman's visited the area a couple of times over the last month. So maybe they're used to him, maybe, you know, but we don't know, do we? All we have is questions. But 4 months ago, 5 months ago, he had no interest in this subject whatsoever. So it just shows you, by connecting, pushing down everything that you've been taught and just trying to understand. I'm sure he'll visit many, many times now in the hope of seeing that figure again. And I'm sure, like me, he'll spend many a night turning it over in his mind as to what he actually saw. But for all my area was quite urban, where this account happened, I can understand completely. There are lots of hidden corridors there. There are lots of sluice tunnels. There are lots of moors and meadows and woods and deer. Lots of golf courses, graveyards. It's a very thin but very long corridor that follows the River Irwell. And this is probably as close to town as you would come on the west side of Pendleton. So it's understandable to me that it would be using the Vale, as it's called, the Irwell Vale. So not very far from town, like I say. You don't need to go into the wilderness. So if you get a chance at any point, even if it's just for half an hour, get yourself out this weekend and have a look and see if you find anything. And if you do, send it in to me. Or if there's anything you'd like to chat to me about in private, you can always find me. I'm on YouTube, or you'll find me on Facebook. My email is debbiehatswell@gmail.com. So drop me a line. Even if you just fancy a chat, drop me a line. I'll always answer. And I'm really grateful that you tuned in again. So until next time, thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.